Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Entertainment Brick Show. Today, we're talking about DC because I've been getting down to some thinking regarding some of the DC stuff, and nothing for next year, nothing in particular for next year. But I'm here to talk about the Batman Part 2. I'm here to talk about the Batman Part 2 because somewhat recently, like the past month or so, there's been very small amounts of information regarding that movie that has been coming out a little bit. And one of those bits of information is that the Batman Part 2 may have Clayface as one of the villains for the movie. I don't know if he's in particularly the main villain of the Batman Part 2. I don't think he is. But he's going to be in the movie. He's going to have something to do with the movie. He maybe even has a fight sequence with Batman. And, of course, thinking with my Lego brain, I was like, they gotta do something with this. Clayface, we've gotten two Clayface buildable characters in the past. We got one for the Lego Batman movie, which was its own set. It was an awesome set, very cool build for Clayface. It was like $35 when it came out, I think. And then there was also a buildable Clayface like monster, whatever, in the 2019 $100 Batcave set, and that was also a great set. And that Clayface wasn't as good as the Lego Batman movie one, but it was still fine. It was still kind of a cool one just to have. And I think Clayface is a really cool character. He's obviously like this big, giant mound of clay, but he's a cool character. And I think it also helps that in LEGO DC Supervillains, Clayface, I think, was one of the more prominent villain characters to play as in the story mode, and he was in minifigure form. You can also turn him to big fig form, but he was mostly you play as him in minifigure form. And I feel like I know we have never gotten a minifigure version of Clayface. And this is something that I think I've talked about a couple of times previously on the channel, but, putting two and two together here, the Batman Part 2 coming out in 2025, I'd imagine it's probably going to get some sets, hopefully 3, like the first Batman movie got in, 2022, Batman Part 2 having 3 sets, 2 smaller ones and then 1 bigger one. I'm hoping that one of those sets comes with Clayface. I think that'll be a perfect way to have it be like a perfect opportunity for a Clayface minifigure to be included in one of the Batman Part 2's sets, obviously depending on if the character is actually featured in the movie or not. Again, this is just a very early leaked little bit of news that I found to be a little, quite interesting because, again, Clayface, we've had him as buildable characters in the past before, never as an actual minifigure, and if Clayface is going to be appearing in the Batman Part 2, perfect opportunity for him to be included in one of those sets as a minifigure. I don't really know what he's going to look like in the Batman Part 2. Maybe he's actually going to be like a giant creature or giant mound of clay, I guess, in the movie. There's a potential for that. So maybe they go back to just making him a buildable character again, but if he's like a small, if he's just a regular sized person, I feel like a Clayface minifigure could be on the horizon, which I think would be really great too. So, regardless though, I'm very excited to see a live action Clayface, in live action, because I don't think he's ever been really in live action before. I know he's been in Batman the Animated Series. I know he's been in actually a couple of animated Batman series. Obviously, again, like I said, he's been in as a buildable character in LEGO. He's been in the LEGO video games, of course, as a minifigure in I think on 2 or 3 occasions, with the original Batman game having him be a minifigure, with a very weird looking minifigure, but regardless, still a minifigure. And then also like I said before, LEGO DC Supervillains, he was also included in there as a minifigure. So I'm hoping that this is the way to kind of like get him into physical LEGO as a minifigure. Anyways, the other thing that I wanted to bring up here is that there have been recent information regarding a Clayface movie set in the Batman universe. And I'm thinking, if that movie is actually a real thing, if that's actually going to be a movie that is going to be released about the origin story of Clayface, could we get maybe like one set based off that movie that instead includes the Clayface minifigure there? I don't know. The point what I'm trying to make here is that there's a couple of avenues that LEGO could take here to include a Clayface minifigure, or even, I guess, just a buildable version of Clayface again. But I'm more looking for the minifigure, just because I know that's been kind of a thing that I've talked about on the channel a couple of times before. And also, they kind of already have the part of Clayface like needed that would be like the weird mold to have for Clayface. It was in LEGO Video. I think it was one of their like their box series or whatever that thing was called. I wasn't a LEGO Video fan, so I really don't know the ins and outs of what that theme was all about. But there was like a minifigure that they had that had like the muck, I don't know, like muck headpiece, I guess, that included, you know, like what looked like Clayface, and it was like stuff dripping off of it, like that looked like it was dripping off of it and stuff, and it sat on top of a regular minifigure body. So they already kind of have the parts to make the Clayface figure. They just haven't made the Clayface figure, and that's the problem. So, point is, the Batman Part 2, the potential Clayface movie set in the Batman universe, those are options to have it be so that Clayface is a minifigure in LEGO in upcoming, you know, sets or something, hopefully. But, you know, most likely not, probably not. But if it will be a Clayface character kind of movie, as well as, you know, the Batman Part 2, there's obviously potential. And that's kind of what I wanted to just talk about today, considering I'm very excited for the Batman Part 2. I'm very excited for the whole Batman universe. And this announcement that Clayface is going to be one of the villain characters included in the movie, I got excited. I was like, that's pretty cool. And then, obviously, from there, I was like, man, perfect opportunity for LEGO to make a Clayface minifigure, you know, regardless of how he looks actually in the movie. So, that's all I wanted to talk about today. So, if you enjoyed that video, do the common YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.